Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Wednesday, and we're at the 27th of April 2022, 7:45 p.m. I'm late. I just did a live interview in Australian business, TV, Aussie business, and it took a while, so that's put me behind. Actually, I had my whole day wrong. Remember, they're so far ahead, they told me Thursday at a certain time. Well, it's actually Wednesday our time. They didn't spell that out. Thank God I was writing my newsletter. It all goes off and I'm ready to go. And because I had just written my newsletter, I was really up on everything that they questioned. You know, you never know what they're going to ask you, but it fit right in with what I was doing. Okay. So as we look at these markets, we still have markets that are interesting in the sense that the market rallies have trouble holding. You know, you can open up in the morning, you wake up and you look, the Dow's up or the S&P's up rather sharply, and by the close, it's given up that chunk of it, okay? It holds breaks a lot better than it holds rallies. So we're getting another bounce tonight. Maybe it gave back too much at the end of the day. And you can see the NASDAQ is bouncing very nicely here. They're all up a little bit. Gold is down into key areas. We'll talk about that right now. The dollar's good, but look at the euro. It's hard to believe. I left too much money on the table, I'll tell you that. It's a 105.67. It's not holding at all. Is parity next? I don't know. Japanese yen's also giving more up. Yesterday was a head fake. You lost the embedded reading and you got it right back today. It's one of those situations where you have to get out the way I teach it. And when it came back in, it means you're re-embedded and you got to be bearish again. Energy markets, the Permian Basin boys are all saying, okay, we're going to produce more oil. Well, don't let the headline get you. Read into it. 2% more? That's not going to do anything. So I don't see that story. We're back and forth on the grain markets, but as I see it, you know, Russia is trying to sell its wheat back into the marketplace. People are shunning it as a problem, but they have to eat. We'll see if they're able to sell anything. They have trouble having to get insurance on their tankers and so on and so forth, but they'll get that done. When we look at the gold market, we had just talked, could the market return back to the 18-day average of closes? It has. And if history's partly of this, at least since November of last year, you can see this, the market has basically held that area and bounced away from it. We'll see if that's the case. Look at the size break, and I've elongated this on the chart, but I wanted you to see what it's done. It's gone from roughly 2003 all the way back here to 1881.60. That's one heck of a break and a head fake. And a lot of people, I'm sure, got hurt on that. I was reading how ETF money was pouring into it when it was up there. Those people could not have done well. You've now got a pattern of lower highs, lower lows. I've left that on. I was wrong to do so. Your next support's right here coming into the, on moving averages, the 100-day moving average, and the Bollinger Band. They are together. Do you see that? That's going to be an important area. And you're oversold. So I'm going to stick with what I said. I think the basis that weekly chart, we're in a zone where the market's going to look for its support. And on the dailies, the combination of these moving averages and Bollinger Bands and you're oversold, I can see short covering hitting. On the gold silver, I'm still in the May silver. That's the lead month still. And you can see silver is just unable to hold gains against the dollar yet. And you see how it's slicing through. Now, I didn't want that to happen. This is a new version of the charting software. It came out tonight. And I've got to learn how to work with it so it'll let me there. Certain charts, what I have to do is I got to click on the chart to lock it in. But I'm going to come back to the silver. When it got underneath and fell under the 200 and the 100-day average, what takes place is now on rallies like you did the next day, that becomes your resistance point. You're oversold. You either embed to get a whole new leg to the downside, or this is going to prove to be the area the pros probably are covering shorts and you get your bounce. Time will tell. Copper market, the first resistance should now be the 100-day average since you're under it. You're not trying to embed just yet. You're oversold. It's been a heck of a break. You had a breakout to the downside. I made mention of that. All you're doing now is climbing back inside the Bollinger Bands. This can't come alive until the lockdowns, shut-ins, whatever you want to call them, in China start to ease. In fact, they're not easing. They might go into a full-fledged at any day in Beijing into more of a lockdown. They have a draconian method of doing this in China. Their stupidity, and I use that word strongly, is that they won't go for outside vaccines. Everything has to be that China develops, and that's the vaccine you take, and they're clearly not working. Okay. In the platinum market, lower highs, lower lows, the market just sitting here. The momentum of the market, you can see still on the bear side. And here's the interesting thing. At first, we were scared back up here of the war. You do realize that the invasion of Ukraine was back through this, and you went up. We're not going to see platinum. We're not going to see palladium on the export from Russia. It really didn't matter. Not at all. The market has other ways around it, and we were talking about that when you came down through this. I made mention of that. I said, something's not right. You're not going to get that squeeze play. And if you remember, on the palladium market, there was even the talk, oh, we're not going to allow deliveries of palladium on the London Metal Exchange. And yet, when the market started down, I said, something's not right there. And of course, what you found out is there's other ways around it. Russia could give it to a third party. That third party smelts it and delivers it. So you're not losing that onto the marketplace. That's what's really going on. And because of that, with the slowdown of world economies, especially China's economy, you're coming down. Now, China's trying to get ahead of the curve by saying now the infrastructure they're going to start and so on. So they're making their movement, getting ready that when they come out of their shut-ins, what will happen is they're going to have programs that can start using. If you're going to build infrastructure, you want palladium, platinum, copper market, silver market, you know that. You're going to use it. You're going to use lots of steel. You're going to use asphalt as you build roads. I can go on and on. In the dollar index, it simply reigns supreme. Where our economy's the strongest, the others are nervous about what do they do. They all fight raising interest rates, yet they have no choice. In order to tame their own domestic inflation, you're going to see that they have to do that, and that's where the nastiness comes in. Now, each morning I discuss this with you in detail. 40 charts, about a 15 to 18-minute video. I start recording at approximately 5:30 a.m. Central Time. It is ready for you shortly after 6 a.m. I record, I render, I post. Weekends, I put out for you Saturday or Sunday. You're going to get weekly charts, just weekly, that give you the longer term charts, what you want to do. And I do revert back to them at times during the week also. My videos will work on your desktops, your phones. We give you a free video for it, everything you need to get going. To find out more about this, just simply come up here, click right there. It'll take you to the area where it's all explained. I think you'll find it inexpensive and a heck of a lot of information. More that you're getting if you think you're reading on the internet and getting all that free stuff. I think you'll find from a charting point of view, I'm going to give you something you've not seen. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.